Time to hit the road now for another tight region matchup between the Dublin Fighting Irish and the Washington County Golden Hawks. Let's take it away.
Hey, you know it. Let's go home.
Oh, yeah, you know it. In the first quarter, we're still scoreless in the House of Pain. Dublin going for it on fourth down. They don't want the first, they want 6. Rodriguez Martin airs it out and throws a dime. Lots of bodies down there, and it's Jaquez Evan who hauls it in. It's a touchdown right there. Dublin would miss a 2-point conversion. They're up 6-0. Here comes Waco after the kickoff. They're on the 20-yard line. Daquan Bloodsaw, you know his name, with the direct snap, patiently waits, hits the turbo button. Yeah, he gone. Bye-bye, baby. Takes this one to the house, 80 yards. They take the 1-point lead after the extra point. Still in the first, Waco trying to add to their lead. Preston Daniels drops back, fires this one down the field. It's caught, but by Rodriguez Martin. That's an interception. He's going to get some good yardage, but Dublin could not score. Second quarter now, it's the same score. And it was a no-fly zone in Sandersville. Golden Hawks try to soar again in the air, but it's Martin swooping in for another great pick. How about that? After the interception, the Irish, they're going to give it to Jermaine Cooley, and look at my man go to work. Dragging defenders up the middle. Oh, yeah, that's a huge first down. Dublin would get near the goal line, but the Hawks, they're going to make a great stand preventing the touchdown right here, and Dublin would miss the field goal attempt. It's still 7-6. So now Waco possession. They're going to hand it off to Shamarcus Poole. Look at this, taking it to the outside. He's got a lot of room, and then here's the stutter step right there. Ooh, got him! Oh, yeah, going to get a few extra yards, a huge first down. They would get on the board with a Preston Daniels field goal, giving them the lead 10-6 at the half. So now in the third, Dublin marching down the field. They're going to hand it off to Cooley. He takes this one up the middle. He will score the touchdown. The Irish take the lead. They're up 13-10. Still in the third, Dublin starting to run away with it. Rodriguez Martin keeping it himself. Oh, yeah, he will take this one to the house. They are rolling. It's 20-10. Now in the fourth, we've got a Rib Rocker nominee. Almost another interception right here by the DUB, but Dadrian Lyman going to lower the boom right there to prevent the turnover. That's some good stuff right there. Zaxby's FFN scoreboard. Dublin's going to win the region 28-10.